Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the Bus, Mark Johnson here. Week 3 of fall camp. Offensive line coach Bill O'Boyle with us here for a couple of minutes. All right, into the third week. Evaluation time. What are you seeing from your fellas?
It's a day-by-day deal. They're getting better every day, and that's what we ask, to come out and get better every day and keep competing. Right now it's all about who this top 5 going to be and who's going to take somebody's job, and developing that competition in individual right now. So it's a work in progress every day.
And I think anytime you come in with a new system as a new coach, there's always transition with the team, but maybe more so in the offensive line because that communication those guys have to have. So on top of that, you've got new coaches, almost entirely new players. You've got a new system. That's quite a process you guys run through.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. The communication part and just being on the same page with everything. And, I think the culture part is already set. Coach Prime has set that. The kids are competing. They're doing the right things. But, when you're bringing in, when you only keep 4 out of the last, after when we got in here in December, we only kept basically 3 or 4 off that starting group. Everybody else is new, so getting those guys on the same page in this short of time has been some work. But it's coming. We did it at Kent. We're doing it here.
From a system standpoint, you come in, you've got Jack and you got Savion coming in. They knew that system. Does that help the transition?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Those guys can get the calls right. And with Bam, Bam at Wells is doing a great job at center because his center makes our system work, man. He's the guy that sets everybody on the right track.
The tackles. Tank, we know from last year. We know what he's all about. Savion was with you at Kent State. You feel good about where they're at?
Yes, I do. Now it's just a matter of developing that number 2 and getting those guys behind them to catch up to speed with those guys. But right now, at this point in camp, need to start pulling back the reins a little bit. I know what those guys can do. Now it's a matter of time because very few years will you ever go through a season without losing 1 or 2 or 3, and you're extremely fortunate if you ever make it through a season where you keep the same 5. So we've got to develop that number 2 in that competition.
How many times have you over the last, since you've been here since I guess in December, have you heard the phrase protect number 2?
A billion. I don't even bat an eye anymore. At first I'm like, ooh, man, I better start worrying about my job. But I know where it comes from, and he's exactly right. Shedeur is such a great talent, and we've got to be in a position to get in front of people and give him that time, man. That's going to be crucial.
I ask you this because of the position you coach. You know who they're competing against. The defensive line your guys are going against. You're seeing some quality on that side. Is that a good battle right now?
Night and day compared to spring ball. Coach Sal's done a phenomenal job of those guys, and Coach Williams. Those guys they're so much quicker and so much more physical than what they were in spring ball, and it really shows every day in practice. And especially when you see a defensive line that moves as well as they do with the games and with the blitz, and how well those guys are working together. So, and it's competitive. Our one-on-ones have really picked up. Everything is picked up with those guys.
Coaches never have enough time, but 2 weeks from tomorrow, you're playing. You ready?
We're ready. We're ready. We need the 2 weeks, so we need the 2 weeks.
He says with a deep sigh. That's offensive line coach Bill O'Boyle. The Buffaloes open up September 2nd at TCU.